It is the home opener for Hartford Athletic at Trinity Health Stadium as they take on El Paso Locomotive. Hi, everybody. We welcome you to Hartford. Joe D'Ambrosio, my broadcast partner, Mark Donaldson, will join me shortly. It's been a rough start to the season for Athletic. In Week 1, they lost 2-0 against Lexington. Then after a week off, they lost 1-0 at Pittsburgh, surrendering a late goal. Hartford pretty good at home last year. Their head coach hoping that continues today.
Trinity Health was a real home field advantage for you last year, 9-4-4. I'm sure you're anxious to get back in front of the home fans on Saturday.
Yeah, we are. I mean, even the Open Cup game last week was it just had different energy to it. There were more people there than we thought we would see for a very early round Open Cup game, which is just a great sign of, you know, where the fan base is at. They showed up all year last year, and it helped us go 9-4-4 at home in the league.
Time now for our players to watch. For Hartford, it was last year's breakout player, Mamadou Dieng. He led the team with 11 goals. He was voted the Fans' Choice MVP. And if Momo can get hot, Hartford can get going. And on the other side, it's Armando Moreno. He's got a league-tying 3 goals on the season. He had 2 against Phoenix, including a bicycle kick that was shown near and wide. Moreno, one of the better strikers in the league. Let's take a look at the early table as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned. And you see Detroit City and Louisville City at the top. Meanwhile, Hartford and Miami, the only 2 teams that are looking for wins. Rhode Island hasn't played a home game yet. They're waiting for construction of their new stadium to be completed, and then they'll play a lot of home games after that. It's a little bit chillier than expected here, 48 degrees at kickoff, but the fans are here, the players are here, and so are we. Mark and I come back with the opening kickoff next here on ESPN+.
An injured knee might look pretty simple, but there's a whole person behind that injury. One who misses the feel of his jump shot and spending time with friends on the court. It's not enough just to heal. He needs to get back out there. At Trinity Health, we're here to help you reach your goals. We combine all the knowledge and expertise of a national health system with personalized health care that treats the individual behind the injury. Because we see all of you.
For your small business, no detail is too small. We know this because we're the Hartford, with experience insuring millions of small businesses. So, with insurance off your mind, you can get to this. Nice haircut. Learn more at thehartford.com/smallbusiness.
At Lux Bond & Green, we have been designing and crafting custom jewelry for decades. It's an art as much as a science, and really there's no room for error. It comes down to 100 little choices made by our own artists and experts who listen to you and create your perfect engagement ring by hand. Quality, value, and selection. Lux Bond & Green Jewelers throughout Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank the Mandel JCC of Greater Hartford, the official fitness center of Hartford Athletic. Visit mandeljcc.org to learn more. Last Fly is the leader in airport parking at Bradley International. Save 20% by pre-booking on lastfly.com. Last Fly, a proud supporter of Hartford Athletic. Time for the starting lineups, brought to you by Liberty Bank. And Marcus, a couple of changes in the Hartford lineup from the loss at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're expecting a 4-3-3 with Momo Dieng leading the line. Michi and Galina and Obalola will provide the width. They've got to get the service. In comes Dispay at the back to replace Joe Scarlett.
And on the other side for the El Paso Locomotive, Jamali Waite missed last week's game. he was on international duty.
Yeah, I think there'll be a back five. I'm slightly surprised to see Gabriel Torres on the bench, but in front of him would have been Armando Moreno, a target with 3 goals this season and plenty of threat in wide areas for the visitors.
Our referee is Atahan Yaya. He's done games the last 2 weeks. Nicholas Seymour, assistant referee number 1. Adam Cook, assistant referee number 2. And Kyle Averill is our 4th official. 48 degrees, feels like 43. The 70-degree predictions have not come true. Athletic looking to break through in the win column. They're in the new green, all-green uniforms that defend the Fortress uniforms with the turrets on the bottom of the pants. And we are underway. 4th time these teams have met. 1-1-1, the record. Last year in the season opener, Brendan Burke's first game as head coach, Athletic got a win in El Paso, 1-0 on a goal by Romario Williams. Early foul called on Armando Moreno. Good to be back with you, my brother.
How are you? Are you well?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
Going to get a home win today?
Yes, I believe we are.
Okay. 168 days since you and I were last in the booth, and Hartford last played a home game. It's been quite the break, including 5 consecutive away games. The scheduling's not been ideal for Hartford, has it?
No, and this year's schedule also at the end of the season. Hartford not here much in September and October, just 2 times all total. The captain, Jordan Scarlett, called for the foul. He talked yesterday in the press avail after practice that he wants to see them get off to a fast start. He thinks it's important on the road. Here's Mark's keys for the game, opening the door to victory, brought to you by Hoffman.
They were really good at home last season. They've only lost 1 of the last 9 here, so it's important that they can get that supply to the forwards, and for El Paso, just utilize the width. They have got threat out there.
Served into the box and knocked out of there by Obalala, one of the newcomers. There's the veteran, Jamali Waite. Played the first 2 games, gave up 6 goals. They had a 4-1 lead on Phoenix.
That was some game.
Oh, and Rising came back to tie it at 4. And then last week when Sebastian Moro was in goal, it was a goal in the 83rd minute that proved to be their undoing at New Mexico United. But this is a team that can score goals. Sent wide, and it'll be the first goal kick for the new keeper, Anthony Siaha. Brought in late in training. He's given up 3 goals in the first 2 games. Go along with 5 saves. Familiar face from the last 2 years with Monterey Bay. He was the right guy at the right time for Hartford because the keeper Hartford had signed got hurt, tore a knee up, and done for the year. So Brendan Burke went out and got Siaha, and that's a good keep. That's a fortuitous break for Hartford.
He's a good goalkeeper, and he does like to patrol outside of his box. He can kind of play as that extra sweeper.
Dispay, number 30, missed last week due to injury. He will provide some balance on the back line for Hartford. And Sebastian Anderson, playing outside right back, has been terrific for Hartford thus far, although he commits a foul there.
Intrigued to see what El Paso do today, because you're spot on, Joe, about talking about the goals that they've scored. There are plenty goals in their team, but so far in the opening 3.5 minutes, when Hartford have had the ball, we've seen them no further than halfway. They're content to allow the Hartford defence possession of the ball, but it's how attacking and how adventurous they want to be, and will they leave space for Hartford to get in behind?
Over the near touch line, knocked out by Anderson. Yeah, Hartford's a team that's going to want to press. That's a point. That was a point of emphasis at the practice on Wednesday.
It's where you press. It's when you press. It's
right.
Hunting in packs. No point one person doing it because you can get played round.
And certainly for Hartford, you got to do better than one shot on target in the first 2 games. Takedown by Beverly McIngilla, and plays it from his derriere up in the vicinity of Jang. Manuel Samadia back. He was ejected from the Lexington game.
Yeah, that was so frustrating. He didn't need to do what he did. How many times over the past couple of seasons have you and I been in the booth and it's been self-inflicted wounds by Hartford?
Just the start of things here at Trinity Health Stadium. Trinity Health of New England, proud to be the official medical provider and title partner of Hartford Athletic, always committed to providing the best healthcare experience every day for every patient. Trinity Health of New England, we see all of you.
Oof.
Oh, that's a dangerous chance there by Adewale Obalala.
Never really thought the goalkeeper had that one totally under control.
It almost looked like it took him by surprise.
Yep.
And Hartford will get its first corner of the match.
Remember last season at the start we were talking about Hartford from set plays and how they would have Joe Farrell or someone coming round the back. Be interesting to see what Brendan and his coaching staff and the players have been working on in the off-season with regards to set plays, because I think there's more than 10 that have come back, so it's not like you're starting from scratch again.
Dispay, who's got the size in the starting 11
He's
instead
massive.
of Farrell. Yeah, he's up there. Sebastian Anderson will trigger. In-swinger. Sails over everybody. And that ball will run out, and it'll be a throw-in. El Paso.
What they've tried to do there, Joe, is the two centre-backs have been pretty close to each other. Momo Dieng is kind of in that vicinity, but then feints to go towards the near post and then peels back. So that's something to watch, what their corner kick routine is going to be.
El Paso missing out on the playoffs last season. But they've been there 4 times in their first 6 years in the league, twice going to the Western Conference Finals. Fans are bundled up. Players on the bench are bundled up.
You promised me hot temperatures. Now, hot for a Scotsman is kind of 50.
Well,
but it's
then
not even
hot,
that.
Then it's hot for you then.
It's going to be 70-odd degrees today. What's happened?
I could go on a
don't
discourse.
No.
But
Let's focus.
I'm trying to bring positive vibes.
So let's focus on the football.
Exactly.
Let's not have a go at the meteorologist inside 7.5 minutes.
Well, and I can't do that when Phil Murphy fills in for you because his dad's a meteorologist.
I know.
I did that once before, and I got the evil eye. Here's Dispay. Gives it away. Turnover by Athletic. Samadia try to use his body. They'll play it back. It'll be played by Siaha.
I think it's a big season for Samaria. I think he's a player that could make Hartford some money if he can get that consistency that he showed for the majority of last season. But you don't get consistency when you're suspended, as he was last week.
Started all 25 games he played a year ago.
I like him, yeah. Him and Dieng.
Yes.
Would be the two that you're thinking, okay, you have a good season, we can get some money for you.
7 is Brian Romero on loan from FC Juarez, the Liga MX sister team to El Paso Locomotive. 6 is Calvillo, another veteran of the league. 96 games for El Paso. Have yet to had a shot on goal. Calvillo plays it wide. On the outside, that's Beto Avila. "13 is Andy Cabrera, the head coach's son, Wilmer Cabrera. He is actually Wilmer Cabrera Jr., foul on Hartford, so this is a potentially dangerous situation.
Just looking at the way Hartford were defending there, and they've tucked in Sebastian Anderson. So, in essence, it's Michi and Galina coming from left forward to play on the left back area, and Obalola doing so on the right side, and even sometimes Beverly Macangila pushing back. So, there's a lot of bodies in there, and they're making it hard for El Paso to find any space. This is a big one, from a set play.
Jonathan Jimenez helping out, called for the foul. Jimenez in the midfield. One of the newcomers to Athletic this year. No stranger to Trinity Health. He had 2 assists with NYC FC2 in their upset win over Athletic in last year's U.S. Open Cup.
It's the best way to attract someone's attention is to play well against them when you get the opportunity.
Mr. Yaya being very deliberate. Headed out. Not all the way. Shot deflected. Here's a shot inside and a goal. On the rebound, Beto Avila in the 10th minute. And El Paso jumps on top.
Yeah, the replay will help to determine whether or not that's poor defending, but I think from the first look, that's just unlucky. It's just the deflection, but you can't just put your hand up and expect offside. It's offside if the linesman puts his flag up. It's offside if they're further forward. You play to the whistle. If we can maybe get that a little bit further back, because it's the shot that's deflected, and that's difficult to know where it's going to land. But still, you can't just stop. And Dispay, who's still right now asking questions of the assistant Adam Cook on the far side, you play until the whistle goes. You're taught that as a kid. That's poor defending, regardless of the deflection.
Jordan Scarlett having a word with the man in charge, Atahan Yaya. So it came off the corner kick, bounced around, so it should be Avila unassisted, his second goal of the season. So Hartford chasing one early. No assist on the play. The Hartford is back again and excited to help our team win from kickoff to extra time. They're proud to show their support for our amazing community as a founding partner of Hartford Athletic. Visit thehartford.com to learn more.
I was concerned you weren't getting through that sentence.
Oh,
there. You got there. Well done.
Choked up when I talk about the Hartford. Been around longer than I have, which is saying a lot.
I'm not going there this year.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't.
You're just being nice early.
Not on day one. We'll try and get another look at that. I want to see it again if possible, to see, first of all, if there was a case. Because everything we've just said doesn't go out the window if it is offside. The bottom line is, if it is offside, the assistant's made the mistake. If it's not, and the assistant's got the good line, you sometimes find that the assistant is in the right place there and it looks like he's offside, but it's when the shot is hit. Hopefully we'll get another opportunity just to see that. But again, you've got to defend better regardless.
Producer Sir Thomas of Stanwix, our technical director Bobby Kaplan, and the Power Station crew back for another year. Ball headed out of the box. Moreno has it sail over his head. Here's Ricky Ruiz trying to turn, and Obawala called for the foul. Let's take a look at this here.
Okay, let's see. And the shot comes in. I think he's played onside.
Yeah, looks it.
I think it's Jordan Scarlett that's playing him onside. It's difficult. We don't have the line across the 18-yard box, but that, to me, looked like that was a good call by the assistant on the far side and just poor defending. Yes, it's a deflection, but come on, you're taught early doors in a footballing career, whether you're a young boy or a girl, play to the whistle, defend, and then put your hand up and ask questions. Don't just stop.
Dispay gets there first, plays it to Anderson. And that one not able to be kept in by Obalola. So El Paso with the better run of play here. Early on, they played that one right off the head of the referee, Atahan Yaya. And again, obviously, with no goals in 2 games, the only team in the league that has not scored a goal yet. Offense has been an issue early on for Athletic.
Well, they've got the players who can score. We saw that last season. It's providing. It's getting the service to them. It's moving the ball quicker. This is a transition league. There's much chance of scoring a goal straight after the opposition has given possession away because they're not set properly. But when it's a slow build-up, it's got to be quicker from every side in the league. That's how you get space. Because Look at El Paso right now. They've got one player, the most advanced player is on halfway, and everyone else is just sitting back.
That's a foul on Brian Romero. Jang slow to get up.
Just thinking back to last season, get it wide, get it in. When they did that, they scored goals.
Yep. 15th minute, 1-0. Locomotive on top on the Beto Avila goal. So Anderson and Samaria, the two wingbacks, will line up over the ball. Hartford brings everybody up but Scarlett. They bring Dispe up as well. I would think we're going to see him in these situations a lot.
Just out of shot, by the way. Inside the El Paso half is the Hartford goalkeeper. He's in the center circle right now. Spoke earlier about him being a sweeper. He can be the last line of defense if this one's cleared. But they've left nobody forward.
Yeah, it looks like I-91 at rush hour on the 18.
Except there's a bit of movement at the edge of the 18. There's no movement on the I-91 at rush hour. The I-91, which goes right behind the stand over on the far side.
I will tell you this so far, 15 minutes in. Adahan Yaya doesn't put up with any shenanigans when they line up. Here's Samadia, plays it short. And they try to get it to Anderson. Now, here's where having Siaha pays off. Since it reversing field on the left side. Hartford maintains possession. Here's Engalina. Chipper to the box and nobody home. It'll be a goal kick for Avalanche, for the Locomotive. Randy's Worcester Street Pizza, the official pizza of Hartford Athletic. Stop by the stadium or visit their other Connecticut locations to enjoy some of the best pizza Connecticut has to offer. You might have noticed the distinctive kit being worn by Anthony Siaha. That's part of the new high-impact kick-out cancer kit in partnership with the American Cancer Society. A portion of proceeds from the sale of each goalkeeper kit directly goes to breast cancer research through one of the American Cancer Society's signature events. Chipped in, and Jamali Waite elevates to get there before Momo Jang.
What were we talking about 2 minutes ago? Get it wide, get it
wide,
in.
get it in the box.
Quickly wide, good from Hartford. Delivery in. But that's it. Win it back quickly and press in the right areas.
Nice interception by Dispe.
Just thinking back to last season when Hartford lost the opening goal, a lot of the times they then took it. They didn't kind of dwell on the fact that they had conceded. They were very good and decent in a lot of games in turning things around, and the response since conceding the goal has been good.
Sebastian Anderson, who played for Brendan Burke with switchbacks, also played for Colorado Rapids of the MLS. Deep throw into the box, but it's... Is it offside?
No, it's a little push.
A little push.
You got a referee today made his first appearance at Hartford who does like the sound of his own whistle, and anyone going to any football game anywhere doesn't want to leave talking about the officials. If they can keep themselves out of sight, out of mind, and it's job done. Already 18 minutes on the clock. We've had a fair bit to say about a referee for being rather over-officious.
Last year, Locomotive 8, 18, and 8. 5 road wins for the team from West Texas, who knocks it over the near touchline. So it'll be a Hartford throw. Boy, Sebastian Anderson, he's busy on that right side.
He could be a key player for Hartford this season.
Heavily involved.
You got the option as well. We saw it last season. Michi and Galina swapping, coming from left to right.
Yeah, and they've done that in the first couple of games.
Yep.
Tackled away. Taken by Calvillo. Regained by Hartford. Anderson tries to play it through for Obalala. Knocked away. Here's Moreno. Nice distribution in the middle, but it's overrun. El Paso player down and not getting up.
There was nothing wrong with the initial challenge. That's a foul on the far side.
That's Avila. Watch Angelina here.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. It's the follow-up that is correctly given as an El Paso free kick.
Hartford came in with only 21 fouls in the first 2 games, but they have been whistled for several fouls already here.
Both sides have.
A little physical at the start, maybe trying to stay warm. Anderson gets ahead on it. It'll be a throw in for El Paso.
They're a good technical side. They're well coached. Yeah, they concede, but they score as well.
Wilmer Cabrera, veteran coach, took over midway through last year. And Ruiz loses it over the near touchline, so it'll be an Anderson throw-in.
Well, we've kind of got a continuation of the first 2 games of the season where Hartford had a dearth of attempts on goal. We've had 1 cross that hit the bar, which wasn't meant to be a shot on target. But apart from that, Jamali Waite has been pretty quiet. It's about getting the players that can cause threats the ball and getting them service. And so far, we haven't seen much of Dieng. We haven't seen much of Ngalina, and we haven't seen much of Obalola.
Number 8, Frank DeRoma, playing the midfield for El Paso.
That's better.
This is steal. Nice play by Jimenez. Here's Jang. Serves it on the right. Obalola, 1v1. Edge of the box. Sends it clear. It's loose and cleared out by Arturo Ortiz. El Paso trying to counter. Already with the 1-goal lead. Played up ahead, but there's Dispe. Plays it up ahead. Obalola comes back to help, but it's kept up by Cavillo. Now Moreno on the end line, taken away from him, and cleared up field.
That was really good by Makangila. Not so by Dieng.
Marlon Hairston is going to get the first yellow card of the match.
Right, Joe. This is when players need to realize winning the ball does not equal a fair challenge when you've gone through the player to get to the ball in the first instance. That is a yellow card in every league in the world. Winning the ball, ref? No. It's what else you've done.
Hartford, which didn't get a yellow card last week at Pittsburgh, gets called for their 3rd of the season. Marlon Hairston, who you may remember, injured at the start of last year, had a big impact, though, once he became fully fit and able to go. Here's Memo Diaz, New Mexico native, played collegiately at UNLV. Chests it down. Bumped off the ball by Ngalina. And Ngalina called for a foul.
Yeah.
Much to his distress.
And others.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuova Pasta for supporting our Goals for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this year, Nuova Pasta will donate meals to help fight against food insecurity in our community. Play being dominated by El Paso into the box, and Scarlett plays it over, so it'll be the first corner kick of the match for Locomotive. Ricky Ruiz looks like he's going to take it, but he's waiting for a ball, which would be necessary to take a corner kick.
Well, you get imaginary yellow cards in football, so.
Instead, it won't be Ruiz. Looks like he's going to play short.
Referee already indicating that, come on, hurry up, pointing to his watch.
So it'll be Diaz to trigger. Match hasn't had much pace so far, has it?
That, sir, is an understatement.
Played in, headed, saved me. Ortiz's shot saved by Siaha, his 6th save of the season.
Yeah, there was an inquest immediately after that as who was meant to be picking him up.
Jonathan Jimenez in the middle of the field, the Norwalk native, number 17.
Needs to quicken up from Hartford. El Paso will take this every day. Right back, centre back, given away. Just playing into their hands.
Moreno dribbling in the middle, overlapping on the left. Gets it back. Cleared up field. Moreno keeps it in possession of El Paso. They've been far more the aggressive team offensively.
Just been better.
Yeah. Another word for aggressive. And they're controlling the middle of the pitch as well. Here's Wahab Akwe from Ghana. Played up ahead, too far for Moreno, and Siaha will watch it slowly roll over the far end line. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Lux Bond and Green Jewelers since 1898, celebrating life's special moments.
Oh.
Hope you're having a special weekend. Glad you're with us for our first home telecast of the season. Nice move by Anderson. Plays it through.
Much better.
And good play there by Adewale Obalola to get Hartford's second corner kick of the match.
You're going to have fun with that this season, aren't you?
Obalola. Just think of the song by the Kinks, Lola.
Oh, okay. That's more a modern song than I normally get from you.
Well, it's because I don't want to incur your wrath for my old musical image.
You're expecting a Perry Como reference before the half hour.
Oh, the fact you even know Perry Como is good. Here's Emmanuel Samaria to trigger. Two El Paso players that are headed away and a quick volley out. Anderson lets it run over the near touch line, so it'll be a Hartford throw-in. Shots 3-0 in favor of El Paso. Two of them on target. One saved by Siaha and one by Beto Avila. Found the back of the net. Here's Jimenez. Double team. Boy, every time Hartford gets the ball at that end, Mark, there's two El Paso players.
Yeah, he's done his homework.
Right on the ball.
Yep. That's why it's got to be moved quicker. Movement off the ball. When they've got the ball in front of them, like any team, so much easier to defend. Get them turned.
Sent in. Headed down and out by Romero. Cabrera plays it back.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more depth of possession from Hartford. I'd like to see them to try and get to the byline, because all these crosses that are coming in, if they're done quickly, it's fine, but there's usually a centre-back waiting because they're in the right position. But get to the byline, cut it back, like this.
Here's Engelina. Nice move at the 18. Tried to play it through for Jang, but couldn't get it through the El Paso defender. Moreno coming back to help trigger the attack.
Let's go back to the goal. Since the goal, Dispe's not put a foot wrong. He's such a good anticipator of what's going to go on. He'll put his foot in. That's what makes it as surprising as it was for him just to kind of stop, put his hand up. He probably isn't going to get there anyway, but he'll be a good addition for Hartford this season. I just wonder, I mean, we've seen the 4-3-3. We saw it a lot last season under Brendan. But you've got Joe Farrell as well. I just wonder if a 3 at the back might be something that Brendan's either thought about or decides it isn't. But that'll give you more opportunities, whether it's Samadia down the left-hand side as a left wing back or Anderson down the right-hand side, just to maybe change things up a little bit. Because right now, it's a 4-3-3, but the 3 in attack are not seeing enough of the ball.
Joe Farrell will come off the bench. Started the first 2 games of the year. And Galena, as he often does, switches from left to right. Nice dribble to get around Ruiz. Double teamed. Plays it through to Jimenez in the box. Sends it in front to goal! Mamadou! How do you do? We're even at 1.
Get it wide, get it in. That's what happens. Excellent goal. Just 1 or 2 indications in the last couple of minutes. Playing a little bit quicker. Utilizing the width. Playing it in. Brilliant run. Brilliant touch. Brilliant goal. Hartford back on level terms. Get it wide. Get it in. 1-1.
Brass Bonanza blares here at Trinity Health Stadium. from Mamadou Dieng, his 12th goal as a member of Hartford Athletic. The first point of his USL career for Jonathan Jimenez. And we're all square at one.
Sorry, Joe, can't underestimate the part that everyone's played in the build-up to that, including Jonathan Jimenez. It's a ball that has to be played in with pace, but with the right amount of pace, and it was. That was a really good team goal. And as I said 5 minutes or so ago, since that goal conceded, Hartford reaction has been really good.
Which is what we saw last year, very, very resilient, not hanging their heads after giving up a goal. And it was a nice play by Michi and Galena to send Jimenez in. Obalola with the foul on the far side.
The first of how many?
Little kerfluffle over there.
This season, Joey. 11 last season for Momo Dieng. The first of how many this season? Now's the time to make the prediction now that he's off and running. What do you reckon?
I'll give you 17.
Ooh, take that right now. So would he. By the way, if he's... the only reason he might not, if he's on course for 17...
He might not be here for that long.
Yeah, although 17 goals will not be scored all with Hartford.
Tonight's WTNH, or this afternoon's WTNH youth soccer teams of the match, Vernon Pythons and Blue Lions Soccer. Jody Ambrosio, Mark Donaldson, and our Power Station crew. Delighted you're spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us.
Perry Como did a song called Delaware. I know that from having listened to it as a child. Have you heard it?
Oh, Perry who? Fouls are 11-3. Hartford.
Most states in the United States are mentioned in that song.
It's Connecticut?
That's a really good question.
Well, I'll have to put it on the iPod while I'm watching the UConn women this afternoon.
Not now, though. We're busy.
No, we're busy. Samadia with a nice play to regain possession.
I'll say no. I don't think it is mentioned.
Here's Jimenez. Jonathan in midfield to Anderson on the right with space. Plays it up ahead. Engelina. Knocked over the near touchline by Acque of El Paso.
I just watched a run out of the picture made by Momo Dieng. It's a run he didn't make last year because he didn't know how to make it. The increase in his experience and his knowledge and his footballing brain in 12 months is really good to see. This is a player that's only going one way, and it's up.
Intended for Dizpay, but Arturo faced the double team, and now Hairston is down at the 18, and Dizpay complaining, saying he had his shorts tugged.
Well, there's a player down. I was reading some of the comments from Brendan Burke on the Hartford Athletic social accounts this season, and one of the questions that he was asked was about last season. Is there anything you would have done a little bit differently? And he was talking about introducing Momo Dieng a little bit earlier than he did. Now, Romario Williams came in, and obviously when you sign someone, you play someone. But since he's come in, he really has been a big threat. And it's about the runs that you make. And he's a smart footballer. He's got a football brain on him. Hopefully this isn't as serious as it looks.
Athletic trainer Mike Diaz out there. Looked like friendly fire. It looked like it was Dizpay who collided with his teammate, who's being worked on at the 18. Let's get a look at it from the throw-in.
It was.
Yeah, it was Dizpay who collided with Marlon Hairston, who was slowly sitting up.
I was looking at the games between these two sides. I remember well and remember fondly when the season opener for Hartford last year, and they thought they were excellent at El Paso, winning by 1-0. But they'd never before, even though they'd only played once, scored at home. They'd scored in both games away at El Paso. So that goal from Momo Dieng is the first time Hartford has scored a home goal against these opponents. Thankfully, Hairston looks like he's going to be okay. Just sprints off to get ready to sprint back on.
Our match presented by Trinity Health of New England. Looking for a rewarding career in healthcare? Join us at Trinity Health Stadium, April 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Trinity Health of New England Job Fair. Explore exciting opportunities and take the next step in your career. Don't miss out. Your future starts here.
Listen to Uncle Joe.
Exactly. He's moving kind of slow at the junction. It's from an old TV show, Mark. I'll explain it later.
Thank you.
Hartford takes it away.
There's that run again by
Here's
Dieng.
Jang. He's got Engelina. Looks for Michi against Akwe. Akwe gets a head on it. Michi still gets it. Volleyed up in the air by Ruiz. Anderson comes up. Bounces it off Moreno. Quickly throws it in.
There's the word you just used, quickly.
All right. 35th minute. All square at 1. Avila in the 10th minute. Momo Jang in the 29th. Pressure at midfield by Avila. Hartford maintains. Hairston open in the middle. Marlon, the 31-year-old from Jackson, Mississippi, back for his second year. Giveaway by Hartford there.
Yeah, unlucky. Just a little nick on that through ball from Jordan.
Taken back by El Paso. 0-1-2 on the season. 2-2 tie on opening day against the Switchbacks. A wild 4-4 tie with Phoenix. And then the 1-0 loss at New Mexico in Derby del Camino Real.
It's not how you start in this league, it's how you end. You obviously want to start well, but look at Rhode Island last year. Ended up getting to the final, losing 3-0 to Colorado Springs. And even them themselves only had 52 points, which would have been good for fourth in the East. But they end up with the title.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see which division is the stronger this year. Certainly you've got teams like Lou City. Detroit City's much improved. Loudoun made a big stride forward last year.
Yeah, I think there's a big gap. I think the East is a lot stronger regular season points wise. However, as I said, it's not how many points you got on the board. It's about getting into the playoffs and then seeing what you can do. And from the so-called weaker conference last year come the champions. And Rhode Island finished 5th and reached the final.
Good job by Obalola to go back and knock it off of Memo Diaz. So it'll be another goal kick for Siaha, who plays it short to Dispay. You know, Dispay's such an imposing figure back there.
Solid, isn't he?
A couple of years ago, he got a early yellow card, a red card against Hartford while playing with Indy 11.
They've switched Ngolina and Obalola, as they do semi-regularly, to give Michi a chance to run at Akwe and Ruiz.
Michi looking to get off a bit of a schneid. He didn't score in the final 8 games a year ago. And, of course, nobody for Hartford scored here. Another foul. And first time today, Brendan Burke off the bench. His Scarlett called for the foul.
Yeah, it's the first time he might have been off the bench, but he has been frustrated at 1 or 2 calls.
Adahan Yaya making his presence felt as we were in the 38th minute.
That switch with Ngolina occurred just before the goal was scored and was part of the reason why Hartford are back on level terms.
It's funny how this game has gone, maybe and not unusual in that El Paso had the early momentum, got the goal. Then Hartford began to pick up the pace. Had the pretty play from Jimenez to Jang. Now it seems like El Paso doing a little bit more with the ball as Jamali Waite, the native of Philadelphia, who plays for Jamaica internationally. Veteran keeper in this league. You know, you look at Hartford and talk about this in my halftime interview with Brendan Burke. Retaining 9 or 10 players from a year ago in this league. Not many teams do that.
It's huge. It's huge for Hartford. It's something they've not been able to do. It's been the first day of pre-season has always been a make sure you wear your name badge so the players and your new teammates know exactly who you are.
My name is Mark.
But this year, it's solidity. It's building a foundation.
And bringing back key people. Obviously, Jordan Scarlett had such a huge impact last year. Samadia played well. Marlon Hairston. We've seen in the 3 years that this is our third year doing the games, just how much better Beverly Macangila has got.
Here he is.
There he is right there. Speak of the devil. Cutting right to left across the field. They try to get it to Jang at about the 15-yard mark, but he was covered. But Hairston loses second ball.
A couple of times I've seen Hartford with a 3-on-2, outnumbering El Paso at the back. They'll take advantage of that when they get it.
Moreno plays it ahead for Cabrera. He sends it through. It'll be dribbled out. Samadio almost gives it away.
I did well, though.
Now Jimenez sent to the turf. Foul called. Hartford free kick.
I think we saw last season, Joe, didn't we? How close Hartford came to the playoffs. There's very little between teams on any given day. It's a break of the ball. It's an offside flag that should have gone up or something like that. Because individually, these Hartford players are talented. And to supplement what you had last season with the ones you want to keep, that's a big thing. And I think key as well is Brendan Burke. Another year under his belt as Hartford coach, his first full season in charge. And he'll have learned from last season as well. So it's the fine margins. It's about turning a 1-1 at home to El Paso into a 2-1 regardless of how you do it. Just finding a way.
Right. It's not synchronized swimming. They don't give you style points.
No diagrams on a scorecard here. It's like get the ball in the box, get the ball in the back of the net, go home, up the road, 3 points. Sounds simple, eh?
Acque plays it back to Waite. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, presenting partner of our community ticket program. Children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford are able to come to the matches free of charge.
That all started by some really good technical play from Ricardo Ruiz and ends up with a yellow card for the Hartford player and a free kick. It's this left-hand side that they really can make inroads, El Paso. They're very talented out wide, and this is disappointing from Dispe. Kind of got there as quick as he could. It's a foul, it's a yellow card, and it's an opportunity now for El Paso to potentially trouble Siaha before half-time.
Dispe last year, 8 yellows, 2 reds. He's not afraid to mix it up, but I think picking your spots is the important thing.
Yeah, there's good yellows and there's not so good yellows. It's where you concede them, and he's positioning there. He just got done by the ability of Armando Moreno.
Ruiz 12, Diaz 24. We've seen Ruiz take these kicks.
Keeps you guessing, doesn't it?
Yes.
If you're defending, is it going to be the left out swinger? Is it going to be the right in swinger?
It'll be Ruiz. Headed down. Obalola plays it up in the air. And Angelina with some good pressure to force Ruiz to send it over the near touchline. So it'll be Hartford throwing.
It's fair, the scoreline so far. I don't think there's much between the sides. El Paso started brighter. I thought your summation was excellent. El Paso started the brighter. Hartford responded very well to conceding the goal, got the equaliser, and since then it's kind of been a bit of a stalemate.
Hartford reverses field. Dispe with those Carolina blue cleats. Jang, such an imposing figure, so big in the middle, such a target. Well, there's Moreno at midfield. What are you going to say for Brignall Vineyard stoppage time?
Ooh. Don't know the answer this time. Sometimes I do, but I don't know. Well, we had the head knock, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll give you 4.
I'll say 3.
Oh. Dispe plays it up over the far side.
Is that Psy? Because
a voice in my ear told me unconfirmed it's 3.
It didn't tell me that before I answered. Yeah, 3. 4 seems a bit excessive if there's only the one kind of stoppage in play. We'll find out.
We'll find out shortly as we get to the 45th minute. Here's Moreno in the box.
Good.
Nice slide tackle. Jordan Scarlett.
He reads the game so well.
He's such a destructive force in a positive way on the back line.
It's an oxymoron.
It is.
Imagine that in your school report card. He was a disruptive force, but in a good way.
But in a positive force. Here's Moreno into the box, played by Siaha, and we do have confirmation. Brignall Vineyard stoppage time. There will be 3 minutes. As Mark told you, he will also give you the lottery numbers sometime in the second half. Hartford wants a yellow.
It has to be a yellow.
As Engelina's taken down.
I'm not sure he was initially going to give that. I don't know. It's the right decision. But, I mean, come on. Hartford have had 2 yellows so far from Hairston and for Deespay. And if you're judging the severity of them on that challenge there, then that's the easiest yellow card as well.
DeRoma, who missed last week's game after acquiring 2 yellow cards against Phoenix. Watch him right here.
So a
jersey.
Yeah, it's a yellow card. Ah, look. 4th official there. Lovely to see Kyle Averill standing proudly with a board that says 3 minutes.
So here's Anderson to trigger from just inside the near touch line. Switch fields to Samadia. Sierra Leone native with Jimenez. So far, I've been impressed by Obalola. He's very active out there. Picks up the steal. A little too active there. Turnover by Hartford.
Building up a relationship on a certain side can be something that can really pay dividends over the course of a season if it's down the left-hand side. But what Hartford do, they do switch in Galina and Obalola. We've seen that so far. But if you've got someone that you can play in front of you, you build up that rapport, it really can help if you can get that relationship. Still not 70 degrees.
That's correct. No, I thought in years gone by they would click off the time during stoppage time, but neither of the scoreboards are showing that. So we'll just have to give you a best guess estimate. Here's Hairston. Avoids the tackle, plays it up ahead. Too far for Jang. Romero sends it into one of the tents on the far side.
Even there, okay? If Dieng goes to the right, then he can't go back to the goalkeeper. He feints to go to the right, then goes to the left. Smart. Defender thinks, oh no, I don't know what's behind me. Can't go back to my goalkeeper. Have to clear it. Just these little things from Momo Dieng that you see over time, the improvement in a young player still. But again, someone that Hartford Athletic can hope can really do well in this game.
It'll be Anderson who takes all the deep throw-ins for Deespay, but he put a little too much mustard on it. Gets it back from Macangila.
Is that the only condiment you're allowed to say there? Can we say hot sauce? Or?
Well, but yeah, I don't think that...
Mustard's traditional.
I don't think that would refer to that pass. I think hot sauce would be a big shot on goal.
Okay.
Here's Michi. Almost stumbles. Regains his balance.
I think he'll be pretty content at halftime. Brendan Burke, obviously going a goal down, not ideal. Response has been good. Goal was excellent. There's plenty to work on in this halftime team talk.
Once again, Anderson will come cross-field to make the throw-in.
That was meant for you to set up saying, and I spoke with Brendan Burke this week.
I did. We'll hear that at halftime.
There you go. Early season teething issues.
Here's Anderson into the box. Cleared out by DeRoma.
Second ball from his throws this season will hopefully earn Hartford some opportunities.
So we have reached halftime here on opening day at Trinity Health Stadium. It's been an evenly played match. It started with Beto Avila scoring on a rebound at the 10-minute mark, then Momo Jang with his first marker this season. We're tied at 1. Hartford and El Paso here on ESPN Plus, MyTV9, and WTNH.com.
If anyone thinks cancer is going to define you, they've got another thing coming. We know you are more than someone healing their heart. At Trinity Health, we know the importance of seeing the person behind the patient, the fear, the joy, the journey. bringing you the expert medical teams and state-of-the-art technological advancements of a national health system, along with the personalized care that helps you feel better. Because we see all of you.
For your small business, no detail is too small. We know this because we're the Hartford, with experience insuring millions of small businesses. So, with insurance off your mind, you can get to this. Ready to roll. Learn more at thehartford.com/smallbusiness.
Back to Trinity Health Stadium, opening day, and it's been an evenly played first 45 minutes. Did you look at some of the crowd bundled up against the chillier than expected weather? Two teams taking the field to get the season started.
Yeah, first time in 168 days, Hartford Athletic playing on home soil in the USL Championship. The shot, and it's unfortunately Jordan Scarlett who's the deepest back there, and it looked like he was playing on Beto Avila, who finished with aplomb, but again, you don't put your hand up and stop and hope that the flag goes up on the far side. El Paso didn't, and look what happened. But then, it's Ingolina, it's a great ball by Jimenez, and a super finish. Get it wide, get it in, Ingolina, Jimenez, touch, and then the ball in. It's a good run by Momo Dieng to keep himself on side. That's a really good goal from Hartford, and we're level at the break.
Game tied at 1 as we take a look at the stats so far. Hartford with the one shot, but they made it count. Possession numbers you can give or take. The big number is the discrepancy, which we don't show here as far as fouls are concerned in the first 45 minutes. So far, we've had 13 fouls called on Hartford, 5 on El Paso. My conversation with head coach and GM Brendan Burke coming up after the break. All even at 1, Hartford and El Paso here in Hartford.
Jansen Wilson tiptoed the line. Wilson! Brilliant! He has been on fire at Tampa Bay! Cross forward, put down by Gaggi! The hero! Let's go!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
And it's a tremendous finish! San Antonio FC!
Unreal! And Phoenix rising!
An injured knee might look pretty simple, but there's a whole person behind that injury. One who misses the feel of his jump shot and spending time with friends on the court. It's not enough just to heal. He needs to get back out there. At Trinity Health, we're here to help you reach your goals. We combine all the knowledge and expertise of a national health system with personalized health care that treats the individual behind the injury. Because we see all of you.
Players from both Hartford Hartford and El Paso among the current championship and League One players called up to compete for the national teams. The Oakland Roots at the Oakland Coliseum, they drew more than the Athletics did last year. And the USL announcing they will have a promotion and relegation system in effect in the next couple of years. Well, this is year 2 of Brendan Burke's reign as head coach and GM of Athletic. Earlier the week, I got a chance to sit down and talk with the head coach.
When you sat back over a cold, frosty lager in the offseason and reflected on the season, what was your biggest takeaway?
That we progressed the way I wanted to, and just came up a game short. I think the whole second half of the season is what I want it to look like. We haven't quite gotten off to that same start yet this year, but that's been mostly down to a couple late arrivals and a couple early injuries or illnesses.
At what point did you and Aaron and Danny sit down and say, this is starting to turn our way?
I think I would say last August, it started to feel that way, where we were picking off some big teams at home. Louisville comes to mind. Certainly should have won the Charleston game at home even before that. Getting results against big clubs like Indy, it was starting to feel normal. It was starting to feel like, the process I've been through at every other club.
If my math is right, and it not often is, which is why I do this for a living, it seems you brought 9 players back from a year ago. In this league, that's a pretty good retention rate.
It is, and that was a focus for us. We wanted to bring roughly 10 guys back, give or take 10. So we landed on about that number, and I think that continuity has really helped the locker room. And it's really helped us in terms of our shape in Pittsburgh in particular, to have guys like Scarlett and guys like Marley, Hairston healthy from the start of the season. Last year it was halfway through before we saw those guys. And that's when we started to put together strings of good performances.
Of the new people who you brought in, Brendan, who's had the most impact immediately?
I would say so far it's, probably Diz. Just the presence, just the Dizpay, just the size, the presence, the ability to now do different things on set pieces. He gives us an all-league defender. And that presence can change the way teams defend against us. It can change the way we approach different phases of the game, because he's also technically very good for a guy his size. So I think so far he's been the biggest add for me.
You had brought in a goalie who got hurt in the preseason. You managed to get Anthony Siaha. Mm-hmm. How did that kind of fall into your lap?
He was in a situation where at his previous club they brought in an MLS lone goalkeeper, and it was pretty apparent that he wasn't going to be the number one, but he's a number one in this league, so we jumped on it when that arose. When
you look at the season coming up, what's the one thing from training camp that you've seen immediate improvement on, and what's the one thing from training camp that has to get better?
Our defensive structure is much better this year than it was at the start of last year. It's certainly going to get tested this weekend. They have a lot of good attacking pieces with El Paso, but I think our defensive solidity is there this year. We have a better understanding of what we want to look like and what phase of the field we want to take which shape. And that took a while to drill into everyone last year. So now that we have that foundation, now it's just a matter of finding the goals again. We were just talking about it, but we left a few on the table in Pittsburgh, and I can't say that I've been there in all the times I've been there, and it's been many, many times. Bob and I were joking about it before the game. I can't think of many where my team went in and outshot Pittsburgh.
Right.
So unfortunate, we fell asleep for 15 seconds there and gave up a goal. Yeah. But overall, the performance was really positive.
And you have a group of people up front led by Momo and Michi, and getting Becky back and bringing people in and having Kyle back for another year. You've really got, it seems like a group of people who can, you've got more than one person who can score.
Yeah, and we have to share the load. Last year it was predominantly Momo and Michi. And this year we need more out of both of those guys, and they know that, and we put a little stress on that in the locker room in Pittsburgh. You know, when you get those big chances, we want to bury those, and we trust those guys to bury those over the course of the season. But now we've added a few pieces, like you got to see Addy in the Open Cup game, and you'll get to see him again soon. I think he's going to be a good addition and add goals and assists. Like you said, Becky getting healthy again, that'll help. But JJ, I expect to be on the board soon. So we have a lot of good pieces on the front half of the field.
And I think I've gotten to know you well enough in over a year. It's playoffs or bust this year.
Yes. Yep.
Postseason.
Yep.
And
Postseason.
hopefully get in the top 4 and get a game at Trinity Health at the end of October.
That would be amazing.
That would be a good environment.
Yep.
Covering the biggest story in USL and US soccer this week, Paul McDonough sits down with Devin.
Division One is coming. Promotion and relegation just right around the corner. What sort of expansion are we going to see nationwide, and sustainability? That is the biggest buzzword I took away from coming out of this interview with President Paul McDonough. He takes a deep dive, no questions off the table in our half hour together.
If anyone thinks cancer is going to define you, they've got another thing coming. We know you are more than someone healing their heart. At Trinity Health, we know the importance of seeing the person behind the patient, the fear, the joy, the journey. Bringing you the expert medical teams and state-of-the-art technological advancements of a national health system, along with the personalized care that helps you feel better. Because we see all of you.
For your small business, no detail is too small. We know this because we're the Hartford, with experience insuring millions of small businesses. So, with insurance off your mind, you can get to this. Nice haircut. Learn more at thehartford.com/smallbusiness.
Teams returning to the pitch here at Trinity Health Stadium. Our match today brought to you in part by the good folks at LDI Connect. Along with Mark Donaldson and our crew, I'm Joe D'Ambrosio. Level at 1. Hartford trying to get that first win of the season, as is El Paso. El Paso has played 3 games. Hartford has played 2, and they have a 3.5-hour bus ride.
Ooh.
Coming up on Wednesday to Lewiston, Maine.
Yes.
For a U.S. Open Cup game.
Portland Hearts of Pine.
Yes, who we will see here later in the season in the Jägermeister Cup.
There are worse drives. I mean, up there is a beautiful part of the world. It's not quite as nice as if it would be September, October in the fall. But
exactly.
I love the northern states in New England.
Yeah, pretty up there in Lewiston. They play at high school. They play at Lewiston High School.
Have you announced anything up there?
I have not.
Okay.
I've done things in Portland and Orono.
That were legal?
95% of them. No changes.
Swiftly moving on.
Second half. It'll be Hartford ball to start off here.
Yeah. A first half that both managers, I'm sure, will be relatively content with. There'll be gripes, I'm sure, 1 or 2 things, but not to the extent you decide to make changes unless enforced. Thankfully, Marlon Hairston okay, recovered from the head knock or the friendly fire from Deespay in the first half. There's very little to separate these two sides.
Right.
It's just intriguing. You've got the 2 different formations going against each other, and I wouldn't be surprised, Joe, if we have a similar second half whereby one team's on top, then the other team's on top, and then there's parity.
Nice little handshake between Michi and Galena and Wilmer Cabrera Jr. Goes by Andy. Played the last couple of years for Rio Grande Valley. And the second 45 is underway. Win is at Hartford's back here. As we look at the flagpoles behind the goal to our left. Hartford plays it back to Anthony Siaha in the distinctive pink kit.
Yeah, a friend of mine did the deal. He's his agent.
Oh, really?
Phoned me and said, I've just moved one of my players to Hartford. He's looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's spoken about enjoying hearing so many. You know, the thing when players come in, Mark, and you know this, they all talk about the environment here.
Yeah, and there's a lot. It's multicultural.
Yep. Obalola on the right side. Cuts to the outside with a nice move, but runs out of room. It'll be a corner kick for Athletic.
That's what you want to see from the start, from kickoff. Okay, pass the ball around at the back. We've got an injury now. This might be a little bit of a stoppage in play, but what Hartford has that is key in modern-day football, certainly middle to front, is pace. They've got a lot of pace, and you've got the concern of a fullback or a right or left centre-back up against a speedy Michi Ngalina or an Adewale Obalola. And part of them is thinking, I don't want to get too far forward because I've got to get all the way back, and he's quicker than me. So it's fascinating, but it's about, from a Hartford perspective, making sure your wide players in attack are doing the attacking and not doing the defending.
Injured player looks to be okay. The trainer got out there and there's nobody to attend to. So it'll be Samadia to take the far side corner. Hartford's third corner of the match. El Paso has had only one. Just the start of things, second half in the home opener at Trinity Health.
So this is interesting. Even though no treatment was administered, because the trainer came on, the player has to go off, then come back round. So I think that Hartford will be up against 9 outfielders here.
Man
and
advantage.
the goalkeeper, yeah. So this is a chance here.
Samadia will trigger.
Yeah, Wilmer Cabrera not happy with his player and with his physio.
Clear it out. Macangilla plays it to Samadia. Into the box. Cleared away. I will say this, and if he's mad at Sarah Acosta, the trainer, she was beckoned out of the field.
Oh, yeah, it's not, I mean...
by Adahan's Yaya.
Wilmer Cabrera's frustration was directed towards the player. Athletic trainer doing what she was asked.
Right. You see the referee beckon you.
Yeah.
You don't ask why.
Not on her. If that ends up in the back of the net, it's totally on the player.
Yeah, exactly. Hartford has switched back. Michi Ngalina up front on the left. Adewale Obalola up front on the right. Looks like Cabrera. Wilmer not happy with a lot going on right now. Stolen away by Hairston.
Good touch.
Taken right back.
Acque had to get that.
There's Calvillo taken down in midfield and a yellow card.
Okay.
Third yellow card of the match goes to Hartford, goes to Obalola. You're in the 49th minute. Let's get a look at it.
Really? If I speak, I am in trouble.
So don't speak.
Exactly.
I didn't bring the bail money. That looked like it was a little bit. That looked a little bit suspicious, shall we say? We've seen actions that were rougher not receive yellow cards.
Yeah, look, let's not get into the nonsense here. I wouldn't call it suspicious. I'd just call it wrong.
El Paso in the all-white kits. Hartford in the new green kits with the turrets at the bottom of the shorts. Part of the Defend the Fortress slogan for year 7 here in the USL. Hartford 3-2-1 in home openers. Last year they beat Birmingham here. Saturday afternoon game on an equally frigid, chilly day. It's not frigid.
It's fresh.
It's chilly. No, it's not fresh. It's chilly.
It's fresh.
Fresh is like 55. No, fresh is 55 when you can go out and hit balls on the range.
As we would say in Scotland, fresh is taps off.
What does that mean?
Tops off for the guys.
Oh, tops off.
Yeah, just shorts
okay.
and
right.
sneakers.
Let's not say we have tops off here. There's another El Paso player down.
Yeah, it's very stop-start the second half. We already had the issue and the player getting treatment but not needing treatment.
Once again, they are calling the athletic trainer out on the pitch. So that'll give me a perfect opportunity.
Who are you promoting this time?
Well, I'm promoting the home team. Don't miss our next home game. Saturday, April 12th at 2 o'clock with everyone's favorite $2 beer, $1 hot dog night presented by Modelo. Stick around after the game for a special post-game autograph session with the team. Visit hartfordathletic.com/tickets to get your tickets today.
I thought when you said everybody's favorite, you meant Phil Murphy, because he'll be alongside you for that one.
He'll be my sidekick that day for the Indy 11 game. You'll be, as they lovingly say in our business, on assignment.
Say what?
Yeah, they always say that when somebody's missing. On assignment.
On assignment?
Oh, yeah. You've never heard that before?
Not said that way.
Yeah, on assignment. Mark will be on assignment.
Okay, I'll need to find out what that assignment is. Leave.
Brendan Burke prowling the sidelines.
Yeah, we could do with talking about football, couldn't we? And this has been 6.5 minutes of not much football because the ball's not really been in play much.
Assistant coach Aaron Wheeler up talking to Kyle Averill, the fourth official. Yeah, it has been. It's not even a feeling out process. It's just been a couple of players down. A yellow card.
Yeah, I did a game early this morning from La Liga Española against Atletico Madrid, and the first 37 minutes before Cesar Azpilicueta scored from distance was like, it wasn't even as good as this. It was just two teams that were cancelling each other out, and that's the problem.
Hairston looks long, tries to hit Samadia, and it'll be a Hartford throw-in.
Yeah, Manuel did well there.
And Galena taken down. Turned over to El Paso. Not as fluid in the middle of the field as they were when they were playing well. Hartford doing a much better job of connecting. Something Brendan Burke talked about during the week as Anderson is sent sprawling. He said he didn't have the connectivity between the back and front lines in Lexington, but he saw a lot more of that in Pittsburgh last weekend.
That actually started by a really good bit of play from Adewale Obalola. Sliding challenge, you don't often see that from forwards, and if you do, they normally get penalised for it because they're not very good at it, but it was excellent from him.
Arturo Dispe, one of the big off-season acquisitions, try to play it through for Jang. Cleared off the 18.
So much easier as well for Brendan Burke, isn't it, when you don't have to sign an entirely new squad. He's a general manager as well. So, okay, I've got my 10 or so that are coming back, and then I can add one or two that I want.
Long ball in the direction of Galena, but the wind got hold of it, and it sailed long. Macangila traps it down. Hartford retains possession. The goals, Avila in the 10th minute, Mamu Jang in the 29th. To square the match at 1. Hartford, one of two teams in the East without a point this year. Of course, they've only played 2 games. Miami is the other. Last night in the league, Tulsa.
Yeah.
Got a goal in the 87th minute.
Taylor
at home, beat
Calera.
Yeah, beat the Sacramento Republic.
Good win.
1-0. Here's Scarlett. Nice touch to Hairston. Samadia overlaps. Sends into the 18.
Strong.
Hairston there. Marlin against the double team. Plays it backwards. Hartford maintains possession.
Certainly not penalty worthy, but you've got to be careful when you make a challenge like that.
Macangila.
Looks like we're going to get a sub soon for Hartford. To Shane Beckford, who right now has his tap off.
And Galena goes down. Foul is called. Foul called on Eric Calvio in his 4th year with Locomotive.
Game needs something. I mean, look at this. There's very little space between defense and attack from both sides. It's being played in a condensed area of this pitch, so there's no space whatsoever.
Needs a shot of adrenaline.
Show us something. I'd go a bit stronger than adrenaline right now.
Taken away, DeRoma.
Good feet.
Gets between the double team, then gets it sprawling, and be a Hartford throw-in.
Yeah, maybe want a free kick there as well.
The Fix, Connecticut's premier standalone IV vitamin therapy boutique, offering customized intravenous vitamin infusions and intramuscular vitamin injections that maximize health, performance, and recovery, with all services administered by licensed registered nurses. Located in West Hartford Center. Visit thefixivtherapy.com to learn more.
Wee bit of a pick-me-up there.
Make you feel better.
Yeah.
Make you feel like springtime.
What difference when the clocks go forward an hour, you get an extra hour of
Oh,
sunlight.
I love that.
You get the beach hut open soon, will you not?
Soon, maybe a month or so.
Oof, exciting.
We'll have to invite you down this year.
I just want to talk football here, but it's stop-start again in the second half.
The game just has no rhythm.
Oh. See, radio, we could make this sound something it maybe wasn't and accentuate something. But TV, you're seeing what we're seeing.
Right. You can't make it up.
No, it's not a case of being bad. It's just two sides cancelling each other out, working hard, and there's no space. And it's one of these games that's going to take a piece of magic or it's going to take a mistake if this game isn't to end a draw.
And it's right. And I was just going to say, it's a game that's being played at the pace where both teams not satisfied with a draw, but certainly don't want to make a mistake to give up the go-ahead goal.
Yeah, don't want to lose.
Here's Diaz, near touchline.
Well, the Hartford kit and the themes about defending the fortress, and the home form was really good last season. Just one defeat in the last 9. It's about turning the draws into wins, though.
9-4-4.
Yeah, that's decent.
Overall at THS. 5-1-3 in the last 9.
Some good wins in there as well. You want this to be a place that teams don't want to come to.
And that players who are not under contract want to come to.
Exactly. But playoff football does that as well.
Right.
And that's the key.
Nice play by Cabrera to play it back to Ortiz. It's a very methodical passing game.
That's a good word. Sums it up nicely.
Here's Akwe. Plays it up on the left. In the middle to Daroma.
Yeah, careful, isn't it? Who's going to be the first to take one or two chances?
Diaz working 1v1 into the box. Headed down and out. Hairston played it backwards. And El Paso with the intercept.
That was a good touch by Ortiz. They're all comfortable in the ball, El Paso players.
Yes.
And Frank Daroma pulling the strings in the defensive midfield role. Just a very well coached technical side. Yeah, they give up goals, but today it looks like they'd happily go back with a point. Maybe if they could snatch 3 or something. But it's up to Hartford to try and find the space, get the ball back first.
Wilmer Cabrera has coached all over the place. Chivas USA, Rio Grande Valley Toros, Houston Dynamos, Montreal Impact, then the Toros again. Proving you can go home again. Now, that did not look like much there,
but it's enough, and it's the frustrating little fouls like that this is a free opportunity to send the big boys forward, to get the ball into the box for Ortiz, for Romero to Akwe and put pressure on when it's the most innocuous little thing, but it's a foul.
I didn't notice it the first time, but Jimenez used his arm to take down Daroma.
It's just a silly foul in an area like this where you're far enough towards your opposition goal to be able to do one or two different things. Beckford coming on shortly.
Looks like it'll be Beckford for Obalola.
That makes sense.
Yep. Duchesne back after being injured in August, missing the final third of the season.
Again, another player on his day, very capable.
3 goals and an assist a year ago. Got 47 shots on goal. Sends one into the box, and the header goes into the sweets.
But you know what? That's really good for Momo Dieng, because coming round the back, that could have been a real opportunity there for Wahab Akwe. It was a good delivery. And again, it's come about from a stupid foul given away. It's the self-inflicted wounds that all coaches in all sport get so frustrated by.
Second corner of the match to be taken by Memo Diaz.
Yeah, you don't make a defensive substitution, or a substitution when you're defending, because everyone's got their own roles that they have to play here. Someone knows who they've got to mark. Don't chuck a sub on.
Hartford with everybody but Michi in the box. Michi protecting against the short corner, as is Sebastian Anderson. Goes wide. It was a dangerous opportunity there.
Yeah, Dispay. He gets a pat on the shoulder, and it's fine. Look, it's up to the defender to do what he has to do and then have the inquest after, as long as the ball doesn't end up in the back of the net. But there needs to be a bit better communication, because it looked like if Dispay hadn't touched that, then Siaha would have got it pretty comfortably.
There is Siaha, the 26-year-old from Tucson. He's played internationally for Cameroon. So this time it'll be Ricky Ruiz. Came to El Paso last year from the Chattanooga Red Wolves of USL 1.
Good name.
That's a great nickname. It's a great sports area down there. As once again, the referee sorting things out in the box on a corner kick.
I'm surprised they haven't got more pressure on Siaha. They're kind of standing off him just now. And there you go. I don't understand teams that do that. It's up to the defence to ensure their goalkeeper's protected, but when you start your runs there's absolutely nothing and pressure, no pressure whatsoever. And by the way, Siaha's agent is watching with his kids, so be nice.
Always be nice.
Andrew Masheter.
We don't try not to be nice. Flourish is proud to be the official catering partner of Hartford Athletic. Maybe Anthony can find out how good Flourish is. We provide healthy and delicious catering, meal prep, and takeout. Visit Flourish online at flourishhartford.com or stop by their flyby location at 72 New Park Avenue in Hartford. Jody Ambrosio, Mark Donaldson, and our Power Station crew. The match level at 1. 10 minutes in, it was Beto Avila. And then 19 minutes later, off a beautiful setup by Jonathan Jimenez, it was Momo Jang ringing the bell for the first time this season.
It's been some wait for Deshane Beckford. Is he going to get his chance now? Yeah.
It's going to get cold.
I was going to say. It's been a while.
So, Obalola, who played 12 minutes last week at Pittsburgh, got his first start today, sees his workday come to an end. Came to Athletic from FK Ekranas Pirma.
Ekranas, yep.
In Lithuania, Tier 2.
Spent a fair bit of time in Lithuania when I was younger, because Heart of Midlothian, the Scottish team, were owned by a crazy Lithuanian. We got a flight
I
to
hope he's not listening.
Oh, he's on the run. Seriously, there's a BBC documentary about him that I may or may not have taken part in, and I wrote a book about him. So yeah, I know a little bit about.
You
Lithuania.
know about him, yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
Yes. Here's the shame.
Here's Beckford taken down hard. That's got to be a yellow, right?
For me, no. It's a free kick and nothing. It's a good bit of footwork.
Referee reaching in his back pocket, but
yeah.
Hartford will have a free kick from a dangerous situation.
You know what? What are we basing a yellow on? By the laws of the game, or by the way that the referee has handed a yellow card out to Hairston?
He's been handing
so
them out.
That's different, yeah. If it's the way he's refereed so far, to give a yellow to Hairston and Dispay and Daroma, and especially to Obalola, it's a free kick and nothing more for me. I think he's got it right.
Yep. Nope, I agree.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's Sebastian Anderson. The trigger from the right.
This is a chance.
Of Jamali Waite. Trying to give Hartford an opportunist service to put him in the lead. Anderson leads the team coming in with 3 chances created this year. Not a lot for 2 games, but still number 1 on the squad. Once again, Dispay up in the front. Hope to capitalize on that size on a header.
They're very deep.
Anderson sends it in, and Waite comes out before Jang can get there for Hartford. Good ball by Anderson, but Waite anticipated well.
Yeah, you kind of need a bit more pace on that. Whip it in and try and get a runner across. This is a problem
Here's
for Hartford.
Cabrera. Wilmer Cabrera in the box. Sends it across, headed. Siaha will play it out of bounds.
Spoke in the first, it's a goal kick. I spoke in the first half about this a lot of the time being a transitional league, and that's a Hartford free kick. It's a Hartford delivery into the box. Hartford aren't set when they lose possession of the ball, so that's usually a really good opportunity to turn things around and to get the ball as quickly as they did to Andy Cabrera. Yeah, they didn't get a corner or a chance out of that, but that is another reason why this is a game whereby the next goal is either going to be in a transition. If there is one, it's going to be a mistake, or it's going to be a worldie.
El Paso has had the better run of play here in the first 20 of the second half as we over an hour into action. Westfield Bank, the regional community bank focused on its customers and their financial security, the communities we share, and the teams we root for. Westfield Bank, what better banking's all about. Online at westfieldbank.com. Member FDIC.
Yeah, wanting a little bit more bravery, but that was a pass that was a bit too obvious from Dispay that gives possession back to El Paso. Just get a feeling that it might start to open up a little bit as teams with, 25 to go, just maybe think that there's a winner to be had here.
Here's the attack from the far side. Played back by Romero. Now in the middle. Arturo Ortiz gets turned around, gets it back from Moreno.
Oof.
Here's Moreno's kick.
Wow.
Just a bit outside.
You know when you use a 64-degree wedge in golf, but you get underneath that and it just basically pops up? That was still better than that attempt.
So it'll be a Hartford goal kick. Hartford still with just the one shot on goal. Only their second of the season, but the first to find the back of the net. And once again, you see El Paso really pack it back, not attacking, letting Hartford play with the ball on the back line as Scarlett sends one over the near touch line.
Yeah, because you do what, if you do what you have just said that they are doing, and you're right by saying that, you're basically thinking that give them the ball, they will make a mistake, and it's up to El Paso in this instance to be able to capitalize with a ball like that over the top.
Here's Avila with Siaha off the line to pick up the ground ball and restart the play.
He's rarely on his line. He is that extra sweeper. That's a poor ball from Beverly, though.
Bad play by Macangila, taken away by Locomotive. Hartford hits the road after this. In league play next Saturday, they'll be at Segra Field to take on Loudoun. And then back here for 3 straight home games if you count the Jägermeister Cup. And who doesn't count Jägermeister? In the box, Cabrera serves in the middle. Dispay uses his side.
Here's a chance
to knock it away. Jang couldn't get a boot on it. Ackway gets there first for El Paso.
See, that should be a yellow card because it's stopping a promising attack. It's the inconsistency that annoys players and coaches. You make the same challenge in 2 different weeks. 1 week you get a yellow card, the next week you don't get anything for it. The laws of the game don't change. This is a promising attack. For Hartford, it's a foul, and it should be a yellow card there for Armando Moreno, but nothing's given. That's what gets players. But they get too overzealous in their protestations. They're the ones that end up getting booked for that.
Right.
It's frustrating.
It's always the second offender.
Culpability and accountability.
Game almost being played at a snail's pace here in the second half. Well, not almost. It is being played at a snail's pace. And my thought, and tell me if I'm wrong, because you do, which I appreciate, if you're, as Kyle Edwards is taking the sweats off in front of us, so he's getting set to come in, if you're the home team, don't you have to push the pace a little bit more?
Depends who the opponents are.
Yeah.
This is a game that you look at against opponents that finished 12th out of 12 in the Western Conference last season. We've already had the conversation. We feel the Eastern Conference is a stronger division. So, yeah, you could argue that's the case. However, circumstances as well. Very few shots on target. There's another challenge. And again, there's the frustration. I mean, sometimes I look at Brendan Burke and I think, yeah, you're appealing for something I'm not sure that should be. But come on. How many times do you have to do that? It's the same guy.
He got grabbed.
I mean, it's the same player, Armando
Moreno. Yeah.
That just annoys the heck out of players. Look, going back to your earlier point, you've lost the first game 2-0, you've lost the second game 1-0. Is a point the worst result at home? No. But it's deciding how much of the gamble button do you want to press. Because you could leave yourself. They're good on the counter. They've got pace on the counter.
Well, they've got speed up front.
They do, as do Hartford as well. But El Paso's sitting in here. They're basically a back five that are a back five. It's not like 2 fullbacks that are bombing forward.
Right. El Paso's playing a strong road game. sink back in the defensive end, and hope for a counter. And you'll fly back to El Paso with 1 point, and you'll be happy. Now, you want 3, but not at the risk of taking chances and giving Hartford opportunities. Price Chopper is an official partner of Hartford Athletics.
Seamless.
Soccer fans save 15% with your Advantage card off general admission tickets to all Hartford Athletic home games here at THS. Visit PriceChopper.com for more details on this amazing offer.
Kyle Edwards still waiting. He's reversed his number from last season.
Yes, he went from 17 to 71. 17 now on the back of Jonathan Jimenez, who assisted on the Momo Jang goal. Here's Hartford with a counter, but again, just pushed a little bit too far in front by Jimenez and taken away by El Paso. Ortiz and Diaz work the right side of the back line. Moreno run over by Angelina. That's a foul on Michi. Now we're going to see into the game comes Kyle Edwards, and the aforementioned Jonathan Jimenez's day has come to an end.
Shows you, doesn't it? US Open Cup last year, wasn't it, that Jonathan Jimenez?
Yeah, had the 2 assists.
Came to prominence. That victory for Hartford in the first round of the US Open Cup here. Obalola, Dieng, and Angelina against the New York Shockers. Different type of challenge on Wednesday against Portland Hearts of Pine.
Taken away by Hartford. Referee gets in the way there, and it's stolen back. Here's Samadia, cuts up the middle. Emmanuel deals it left to Beckford. Shane Beckford, room to run on the left channel. Gets it in the middle, Angelina. Tried to give it back. Not successful. Taken away, and Hartford not happy. And then Angelina, or rather, Macangila runs over.
When a referee upsets both coaches, that says something.
Well, it says the coaches agree in the quality of the man in the blue shirt.
Oh, dear.
As they help Beto Avila up to his feet. Looks to be none the worse for the wear.
What do you say that Hartford have got? 3.5 hours by bus up to Portland, Maine?
3.5 hours. Matt quested it this morning.
Okay.
3.5 hours from Trinity Health.
You ain't getting to Ventura County from El Paso in 3.5 hours by bus. That's where they go, to Thousand Oaks on Wednesday, because El Paso have got a wee trip to Ventura County in MLS Next Pro side on Wednesday. That's a flight.
Yes. And I'm guessing from El Paso, it's not a direct flight.
No. Oh, maybe to LAX.
Looked for Avila in the middle. Avila in the middle, knocked away. Stolen. Here's to Shane Beckford. One of 2 Hartford subs in the game thus far. Knocked over the near touchline by Ortiz. Hartford maintains possession. 1-1, 74th minute.
Second half that will not be spoken about much.
Is there a soccer Hall of Fame?
Is there a soccer Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Not like a Canton or a
right, that's
Cooperstown.
Because I was going to say the film of this would not be shown there.
No. You know what? It's a 90 plus 8 minute winner for either side. That's all they're thinking about.
Oh, of course. Nice step up by Scarlett there. Get the ball before Avila could play it. Hartford with numbers. Beckford's been active. His back heel taken away by Eric Calvio. Now DeRoma.
Still in.
Keeps it in. Good job by Frank DeRoma. Aimlessly played up ahead. And taken by Siaha.
What they're doing by keeping Cabrera and Moreno wide on either side, they're stopping the supply from the fullbacks for Hartford, which is what you basically need with a back 4. And then you've got the 2 centre-backs that El Paso are more than happy to allow possession of the football. So their game plan's been very good. It's 2 coaches and their game plans that have basically cancelled each other out so far.
It's been a tactical game.
Has, very much so. You get that.
Yep.
Sometimes styles make formations make styles, or styles make games, but today a back five that has never really been anything else but a back five, and space is just at a premium. You've got to get it wide, but you've got to get it wide to a teammate and just behind.
Edwards with the errant pass. At Nautical Bowls, they truly value a healthy and active lifestyle, which means they'll always provide their guests with ingredients that will fuel you right to feel right. They are gluten-free, soy-free, and dairy-free. Refuel with Nautical Bowls.
And they're also the closest food outlet to the commentary booth, so yeah.
It's very important. That and the Mexican food truck as a Hartford player is down. Foul called. I think that's Edwards who was slow to get up over there.
I don't recall many games last season where reads, as you call them, sponsor reads, are followed by an analysis of the product, because there's always been plenty of football to talk about. But this hasn't quite been the case in this second half.
So there, the referee, Mr. Yaya, signaled for Mike Diaz, the Hartford athletic trainer, but Brendan Burke told him, hold on a second, and Edwards is up and walking off whatever the malady was. He got hit in the face. That's what the malady was. Now he is calling for the referee, or for the trainer, and Mike Diaz started to go the long way. Now he's going to cut across the field.
It's one thing I would never, ever criticize anybody about, is the safety of a player from a head perspective.
And it's the same situation as last time. Once the trainer runs on the field, even though Kyle Edwards looks okay, he'll have to come off for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, self-regulation can be very difficult. Oh, I'm fine, ref. I mean, back in the day, goodness me, players would see 3 footballs that they went to head because they've just had a whack on the noggin.
Concussion protocol was 2 words that were never put together.
No, and it has for the player's safety as well.
Calvillo in midfield plays it back to number 7. That's Brian Romero.
Hairston wants to come on, but he's been told to wait by the referee. Now he gets on.
Arturo Ortiz with space. Runs it into the middle. Play it through for Cabrera. He's taken off the ball.
It's a good tackle.
Taken away. Good play by Emmanuel Samadi. A dangerous back to Siaha there.
Not sure a right-footed goalkeeper fancies that pass to him the way it was delivered.
Good job by Jeng against the triple team. Beckford with a run.
And Galina's in space.
Errant pass takes away that potential challenge by Hartford.
And Galina's still in space down the right-hand side.
Taken back by Anderson. Here's Samadia, plays it through. Macangilla challenges in the middle. Hartford regains possession, and Siaha midway through midfield and midway between midfield and the goal line.
It's about decision making.
Out to play it.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. It's about decision making, and for me, Galina's a better option there, and it's playing with your head up. You've got his pace, or you've maybe and you have a lack of defenders on the far side. That's a better pass. It's about awareness as well.
Entering the 80th minute, the game tied at 1. Both goals before the half-hour mark of the first half.
Gabby Torres, ex-Hartford, good player, left-sided, about to come on.
Pass behind Anderson, taken away by Ackway. Calvillo's pass, errant for Moreno. So we'll see who Gabby Torres comes in for, and it's going to be the goal scorer, Beto Avila.
Well, if that doesn't tell you that they're happy with a point, I don't know what will.
Gabby Torres spent 2 years in Hartford, 2020 and 2021. 29 games, 23 starts, 2 goals, 5 assists out of Waukesha, Wisconsin.
I was watching their game last week at New Mexico. It wasn't a good first half, and it was within 60 seconds of the second half that they got the ball to Gabby Torres. He played it forward to Amando Moreno, and they were able to utilize that width because they were very narrow in the first half. But Gabby Torres, a player who's going to play in front of Ricardo Ruiz, with Amando Moreno going through the middle for the last 10 minutes or so. Good player. It could be a threat.
81st minute of play here at Trinity Health Stadium in the home opener, and that's an errant pass that sails over the far touchline. Dayhill Dome is the place to play. Open to all ages and abilities. Rent their facility to run your own program or register for one of theirs. Either way, Dayhill welcomes everyone to experience the best sports facility in the region. Visit dayhilldome.com to learn more.
Let's just say that was soft while you were reading your read. It might have actually been a free kick before that, but...
So this will come from about 30 yards out.
Keeping tabs right now on Kyle Averill, who's the fourth official, and he's having words with Brendan. But sometimes it's best just not to get involved, because there's only one thing that's going to happen, and it ain't going to be good.
Once again, it's 24 Diaz, 12 Ruiz over the ball. Ruiz is the left-footed.
One note in the second half. Obalola yellow card, nothing else.
And the ball sails wide. Siaha furious. They're calling it a corner kick.
Yeah, took a deflection, but I think he's seen a push, and he's going to go into the book now.
And Siaha becomes the fourth Hartford player to be carded.
Well, it's another entry in the notes. He's someone who will not get a good ovation at the end of this game, this referee, from the Hartford support.
Shots are 5-1 in favor of El Paso. Only 2 on target. Boy, Siaha was bouncing up and down like a jack-in-the-box there.
Look, it's a yellow card in most European leagues. You can't react like that.
Right.
So,
well, we saw that last year where Henan Ribeiro got tossed.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be able to control your emotions better, regardless of the standard of the officiating.
Right side corner. Ackway went for it, but it was cleared out by Macangilla. Hartford attacks, but they don't get it. Cabrera plays it off his head and rolls over the near touchline. Certainly has been a half of some aggressive play, but not in the offensive third.
Look, the clocks go forward in Europe tonight. It wouldn't have been a bad thing if the clocks had gone forward at half-time rather than sitting through the second half. It's just not ability-wise, and it's not for a lack of effort or anything like that. It is the ultimate two teams totally cancelling each other out. And when you've got that, you've got to find a way somehow. You've got to try and come up with something, and that may still be the case here.
Edwards on the takeaway, slide tackle. Gets the ball back. Now Macangilla for Hartford. In the middle, here's a shot by Beckford. Sails it towards the concession cantina.
Well, it's something, isn't it?
It's an effort. It's an effort.
You got any other reads?
Yeah. You want to hear one?
Yeah.
Today's Hartford Business Journal Business Alliance partner of the match is Service Press. Another player is down. Looks like Ackway, who was up.
Next Saturday, Hartford go to Loudon.
Segra Field.
Do you keep the same formation? What do you do if you're Brendan Burke?
Well, I think you're trying to build some continuity. I think you keep the same 11, but I don't know. That's not, I mean, I'd like to tell you I have a qualified opinion, but
what you're after there is anybody you've brought on as a sub to make an impact. And if they do, they're perfectly entitled to enter the conversation for the following week or the following game. Okay, they did well when they came on. They can start.
Yes, exactly.
At first, there was some effervescence from Deshane Beckford, from Kyle Edwards, but they haven't really had the impact that Brendan Burke would hope that any replacement coming off the bench would have. It's a chance to get into the team for the following game.
Diaz pinching up. Play it outside of the left. Here's a run, and that should be another corner kick. Fourth of the match for El Paso.
Yeah, Hartford have got that US Open Cup tie in midweek, so might be an opportunity to make one or two changes.
Well, you'll probably see some of the kids, like Spencer Gordon and Quan Ribeiro, in that game.
It's a smaller squad he's gone with this season.
Yes. Haven't seen Joe Farrell yet today. Really no reason to change out your back four.
No.
Ortiz making a run. Header and a goal. Ackway in the 86th minute off the corner, and El Paso takes a 2-1 lead. And there is a dejected Hartford Athletic 11.
Yeah, it's the near post flick that causes the problem. That there, and it's just bodies, isn't it? It's right place, right time. Sometimes they go for you, sometimes they go against you. That's a sore one for Hartford.
So for Wahab Ackway, his 6th career goal in his 88th match, he came up from the back line. Looked like Ortiz was the one who got the header on it. Far post, near post. And we're going to get Tumi Moshabon into the game, replacing Andy Cabrera.
Yeah, Joe Farrell coming on as well.
The veteran from Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, will come in for Beverly Macangila. So, once again, last year we saw this, Mark. Late goals, an issue for Hartford, giving up goals in the 75th minute and beyond. So Hartford will have to put on an all-out attack. Send it to the box. Header goes wide.
Yeah, free kick awarded for El Paso for that challenge. The bottom line from a Hartford perspective, did you say they've had one shot on target today and that was their goal?
Yes.
And how many shots have they had on target in the first couple of games?
They've had, they've had one shot on goal before this.
And 2 shots?
Right. Today they have 2 shots.
One on target?
One on target.
Okay, so we've had 2 shots on target in 3 games. That ain't getting the job done. That's not getting the job done. Find a way to create more. You're not getting as much as you should be getting from Michi Ngalina, from Momo Dieng, from Deshane Beckford, from all the attackers, from Obalola. But a lot of that's to do with service. There's not enough supply to these players. You can have the best players in the world. If they don't touch the ball, you've got to find a way to get them the ball.
They've got to get service. They can't. They're not coming down 75 yards from the goal. And let's see what happened to Jamali Wade here.
It's the left arm of Dieng. It's a foul. So it's finding a way to be more creative. It's finding a way to have more than 2 shots on target in 3 games. Because they look relatively solid at the back, but that's not the problem. Yeah, they've conceded. That first goal today was annoying, the way that they conceded it. But it's the lack of creativity, and it needs to be quicker.
Now we've got a collision at midfield, and another El Paso player goes down. So the poor trainer, the athletic trainer, Sarai Costa, was coming back from attending to Jamali Wade. Now she's got to take care of Eric Calvillo. It's the second time this year that Hartford has surrendered a goal in the 75th minute or later. That's where they surrendered the goal in the loss to Pittsburgh, 83rd minute there.
Let's rewind a little bit from the goal. Yeah, the goal's been conceded. Okay, it's a decent delivery. It's all about the first flick. That's a good flick, and then you make the run, hoping it comes to you, and it did. It's a decent enough finish from Ackway. But rewind it a little bit. How did the corner come about? Could that have been prevented? It's the little things. This is a game today between 2 sides that, on this form, they ain't going to be troubling the judge come the end of the season. But it's a long season, and it's about getting into the playoffs. Is there money available to spend to increase the squad, to strengthen the squad for Hartford? If there is, which areas of the park should it be spent in? If there's not, are you getting enough out of the players with the formation you have right now? There's a lot of questions, but this is a game that Hartford, if they do go on to lose it, whether it's 2-1 or whatever, they can't say they deserve to win it because they've not had enough opportunities on goal.
Frank Lopez and Kofi Chumesi getting set to come in. Frank Lopez, the veteran. Hairston with the steal. Angelino waited on the ball, and the foul is called. As we are headed toward Brignell Vineyard stoppage time.
I think it'll be pretty hefty.
Fourth official is busy looking to get the subs in the game, and Wilmer Cabrera says, why didn't you let him in? Jang goes airborne. Bicycle kick out of there, and it'll be Siaha. So Brignell Vineyard stoppage time, 5 minutes. Here's a long ball by Samadia to the 18. Header put down, but only white shirts there to grab it. So Hartford has to be in attack mode here.
Well, Joe Farrell's gone up front.
A position he's not unfamiliar with. Wait. Doesn't wait. Comes off his line to field it before Hartford can get there.
I'll be interested to see what Wilmer Cabrera says after the game, because you could quite easily put it to him with a question. Has this been more comfortable than you expected when you come here?
Well, he had a comment during the week where they, and I'm paraphrasing here, they fancy themselves as Western Division playoff contenders, and to be there, this is a game they have to come in and take 3 points out of.
But they would have been content the way they set up and the subs that they made. They would have been content with a point.
So Frank Lopez going to come in for Armando Moreno, who was relatively silent today, tied for the league goal-scoring lead with 3. And the end of the day has come for DeRoma. So Chumesi in for Frank DeRoma, 28-year-old from Ghana. Played 10 games for Rhode Island last year. So he was part of the first ever New England derby. Seems like we'll have more than 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah, it's a minimum of, and there's obviously substitutions made during that.
As Moreno limps off the field. Lopez in his 165th match in USL. Calvillo will throw it in, but we get a whistle, and they want him to move back. And Calvillo says, you know what? I'm not going to throw it. gives the ball back to Memo Diaz. Hartford knocks it over the near touchline.
Would it be fair to say El Paso are solid without being spectacular?
I think it's very fair.
And that can get you into the playoffs in this league, and then anything's possible. They've been very well organized today. They're a good technical side. They're well coached. They probably would have been content if they'd gone back with a point. Looks like they're getting all 3 points. The bigger questions are for Hartford.
I was thinking of a word to describe Adahan Yaya. His officiating style, I think, meticulous.
I would stay safe and say unique.
Okay.
You can't get in trouble by saying something's unique, because that can be a myriad of things.
Meticulous is also can be taken several ways. There's now El Paso perfectly content to play the clock here as we are in the 5th minute of stoppage time. 2-1 El Paso on the goal by Wahab Akwe. Somebody plays and tries to reverse fields, but Scarlett gets ahead on it. Second ball played by El Paso. Here's Emmanuel Samadia. Up on the left, and Galena taken off the ball. Lopez sent to the turf by Hairston.
This is about discipline. This is about not picking up silly second yellow cards. He was booked after 22 minutes. Just walk away. You don't need to get involved. You don't want to miss the next game. Move out of there.
Vici and Galena trying to gently move Marlon out of there. Marlon's there to try to help him up.
Which is fine.
Marlon just is a generally nice human being.
Yeah, but just you've committed the infringement. Get back, check everything's okay. Just get out of there. Don't get involved. I think Hartford bigger picture is what next, because we've seen when they play football, they can play football, but they have not played enough football so far this season. How do you get more of that goal that they scored today, that build-up play, that Ngalina pass that went infield to Jimenez that then found Dieng? When they can play, they can do it very well, but they're not doing it enough. So you know it's there.
Right.
It's about getting it more often, because 2 shots on goal, if that's what the actual stats are in 3 games.
1 shot on, in 3 games.
In 3 games is unacceptable.
And really, the shot on goal was literally their only offensive challenge of the match.
That's a sore one in the corner.
So it'll be a direct for Hartford. Play it back to Siaha. Now they're going to have Siaha take it. See, that's the meticulous part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hartford just unable to muster anything offensively in the first 3 games of the year. And the year is young. Game 3 of 34.
I'd change the formation.
Well, you said that a couple times last year. You're not sold on the 4 backs.
4's fine at the back. No, not necessarily the 4 at the back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Middle to front. You're not getting enough from the talent that you have middle to front. The ball's not getting forward fast enough. I don't think you're getting enough from the wide players. So I'd tweak things.
The other shot on target this year came in Pittsburgh by Michi Ngalina.
Yeah, not much in Lexington. You've got a player, so it's a bigger picture. You have a player that can make you money, right? Momo Dieng, he put the ball into the box. Look what he did today. Boom. 1 touch, 1 goal. He needs to get more of the ball. He's not getting enough of the ball in this formation. Does that mean a change of formation is going to be the same? Might not. But try something.
Played into the box. Ackway plays it ahead. And we have come to full time. And you see a very happy group of El Paso players as they achieve their first win of the season. And for Hartford, it's more misery. They fall to 0-3. As you see Frank Lopez down on the ground. 2-1, our final in full time. Mark and I will be back to wrap it up next, right here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Our broadcast today brought to you by Central Connecticut State University. Apply today at ccsu.edu. Don't miss the next home match, Saturday, April 12th, when Athletic hosts Indy 11. It's everybody's favorite $2 beer, $1 hot dog night, presented by Modelo, 2 p.m. kickoff. And then stick around after the game for a special post-game autograph session with the team. Visit HartfordAthletic.com/tickets to get your tickets today. In a game that was barren of any offense, you can see again, Mark, the story is pretty blunt. Hartford just unable to get anything going offensively.
Not clinical enough. Now, we have seen in many sports in many years teams that have started poorly and somehow gone on a run. That's what Hartford need to do. This is the first game of the season at home. It's game number 3 in the league. It's game number 4 with the US Open Cup. It's about trying something different in the US Open Cup up in Maine in midweek. It's about finding a formation that suits to get the best out of the players that are talented that you have. The problem right now is that they're not creating enough, and teams now know they can come here, they can pack the box, they can go 5 at the back, they can go narrow lines, and Hartford can't break them down. That needs to change.
2-1 on the goal in the 86th minute by Wahab.